and finally, let me just talk about, well, one final thing in terms of passing this puppy. So we need to keep up the pressure, the noise, the Baucus children, I did that one. Volume is key, okay? The teabaggers are starting to annoy me. The senator from, the other senator, Senator Lincoln from Arkansas, recently released statistics have gotten a lot more against the climate calls and letters than to do something for this bill. I mean, so we need to check our numbers, but mainly we need to fix those numbers by, pumping up the jam on that one. And then lastly, before getting into what should we do if we pass it all, what you should do if we pass this all, because I'm not sure I'm going to make it to 2049. Do be comfortable that sometimes the perfect is the enemy of the good. And let me give you an example. I started my career as an anti-nuclear activist. I'm not a fan of nuclear. I'm not standing here activating for nuclear, okay? And was inspired by the work of Amory Lovins that showed how nuclear power, too expensive, did not work, and we've seen how plants have not been built. However, you will probably see financing available in this bill that nuclear as well as other technologies will be available. Just keep in mind that most of the good engineering firms are working in Dubai and other places. Literally, they're on contract until 2018. So as Bernadette had pointed out, the numbers in this don't really pencil out. So there may be the possibility of money for nuclear that you will see. There's already clean coal research. Frankly, if we can bribe some votes with clean coal research, that's not such a bad thing. Maybe scientists will figure something out. It's different than building a coal plant. So similarly, you may read that there's money for nuclear available. That doesn't mean at a practical level that nuclear plants will get built, because people have to put their money on the line, and utilities look at the numbers and go, I don't think so. So just keep in mind that finance, okay, and capital flows is what really drives some of these big nuclear power and coal plant decisions, and just be aware of that. So what happens if we pass this whole thing? That's actually when the real show begins. That's where we're going to need everyone even more to build a movement that scales. I have a master's in regional planning. I'm an out-of-the-closet regionalist. So I'm thrilled to see the regional focus of power shift, because frankly, the energy challenges in different places, the renewable resources, is very, very, very regional. In the southeast, there's not much wind, okay? Different mix, biomass and other things becomes very important. So as we think about the long-term prospects for scaling all this stuff and telling the happy story in 2049, we're going to need bottom-up implementation, okay? And whether that's, the net zero districts, Green Girl Scouts, the work that you're doing in high schools and middle schools, serious citizen engagement, and actually showing the way and creating the stories at a local level, as opposed to waiting for the geniuses in Washington to come up with the answers. It's not going to happen that way, and I think you all know that. The other big piece, frankly, is finance, okay? This stimulus has got a lot of projects going in the renewable area, but there's a bunch of interesting things out there. The use of public and union pension funds, and the policy change to enable and unlock trillions of dollars of investment money that could be put in to clean and green. Okay, that's an area we haven't touched, and it's like the last chunk of money that's out there, and it can be invested in hedge funds, or it can be invested in new and smart technologies that will create jobs here at home. So that looking and understanding how some of you may need to become masters of the universe on the finance side. Some of you need to be activists. Some of you need to be architects. Some of you need to be engineers. Some of you need to be ecosystem service market makers and really roll your sleeves up and get nerdy and show how wetlands and other systems create all kinds of financial benefits. You need to be collaborative, and I don't need to tell you how to do it. The youth movement, the power shift movement in general has helped show the way to a lot of encrusted progressive movements about how to do business, and for that I commend you. You need to be creative and maybe be a little bit sneaky. You know, I point out to you, there's Homeland Security. There's this Department of Homeland Security. It's now run by kind of a cool person, Janet Napolitano. I have the pleasure of working with her on the Democratic platform. They have something, what do they call, Homeland Security Citizen Corps. They spend millions of dollars a year on local grants. You know, could that be funding some of the programs that you're talking about? Little grants, 2,500 or more. You know, is climate security the most important thing that Homeland Security should be into?
Yeah.
Yeah. So be sneaky, be creative, because I don't think they're thinking about it right now, and I think you guys could start pushing that along. Lastly, I guess I would say learn to be both patient and impatient. I'm an incredibly impatient person. I feel badly for my children because I can be really annoying and I get mad when they're late. But at the same time, as I look at the last several years and the work of groups like PowerShift, you know, I see both, wow, we're actually making progress and it's starting to snowball more quickly and it's starting to snow. And, you know, if you told me after 9/11 that the level of change that we're having right now, that, you know, when we first launched Apollo Alliance, we were talking about a $300 billion 10-year investment, and most people thought that we were smoking Eugene Green. And now it's happening, and really the question of how to put this stuff in the ground, the solar roofs and more, is where the show is at. So help get the bill passed and help build tomorrow, and you will be the greatest generation yet to come. So.